Hey there, Alex here at mixinglessons.com. In this video, we're going to have a look at the knee setting on a compressor. So over the last few videos, we've had a look at what each of the different parameters on a compressor do. We've had a look at the threshold, the ratio, the attack, the release, and I'll leave a link to each of those videos in the description box. But to understand the knee parameter on a compressor, we very quickly just need to recap what the threshold and the ratio do. So your threshold parameter sets the point at which anything that gets louder than this point will be compressed, and anything that remains beneath this point will not be compressed. And the ratio controls how much the part of the signal that's being compressed is turned down by, or how much compression is applied to it. So with a ratio of 3:1, the part of the signal that's gone above the threshold will be turned down to 1/3 of its original level. With a ratio of 2:1, the part of the signal that's being compressed will be turned down to half of its original level. Okay, now when it comes to the knee setting, we generally think of the knee as being either a hard knee or a soft knee. So you might have a button to toggle between hard and soft. You might be able to dial in a decibel value like you can with this. Or in some instances, you might not have any control over the knee whatsoever. It might just be fixed. So with this compressor, when we have it set to 0 decibels, we would refer to that as a hard knee setting. And with a hard knee setting, the threshold and the ratio behave exactly as I've explained. Anything that remains beneath the threshold will not be compressed, and any part of the signal which gets louder than the threshold will be compressed to the ratio amount. So here, any part of the signal that goes above minus 24 decibels will be compressed to a ratio value of 2:1. If you were to soften this knee, this changes the behaviour of the compressor a little bit. First of all, the compressor doesn't wait for the signal to cross the threshold before it starts applying compression. It will actually start to apply compression as the signal approaches the threshold. And at the same time, rather than applying the full ratio amount of compression, the compressor will actually build from no compression and will build up to the full ratio amount. So as the signal approaches the threshold, it will apply a low ratio amount of compression, and it won't reach the full ratio amount of compression until a point past the threshold. And so on this compressor, you define the decibel range over which that compression builds from no compression to the full ratio amount, and generally the threshold will be placed at the centre of that transition zone. And so the result of this is that it makes the transition between uncompressed and compressed a lot smoother and a lot more transparent. Now, a hard knee setting is great for instruments that have fast peaks like drums, but it can sometimes be useful to use a soft knee setting on something like vocals, which can benefit from a more gradual transition between uncompressed and compressed. It also means that the full ratio amount is only being applied to the very loudest parts of the signal, and parts of the signal which are not so loud undergo a lighter amount of compression with a lower ratio value. And so softening the knee can sometimes be really beneficial. If you want to get a head start with compression, head over to mixinglessons.com/free-downloads and download a copy of my free compression cheat sheet. It teaches you what each of the parameters on a compressor do: the threshold, the ratio, the attack, the release, the knee, and it also shows you how to get different results from a compressor using these parameters. The compression cheat sheet also comes bundled with a free EQ cheat sheet and a free vocal recording guide as well. I hope you found this video helpful. If you've got any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Please feel free to subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos, and I'll see you next time.